Hello everybody. Today we will show the Amazon build with the Glacial boat as the main weapon, and let's first try a tier 2 King of the Mist because that's the key I currently have. So we will play this at level 81. Let's see how that goes, and then I'll show you the build. So as you can see, damage is not a problem. 2 shots and he's gone. So now we go into the maze. Let's see how that goes. Sometimes I find this annoying because now, for example, I don't see where the fuck to go. But okay. Oh, there we go. That was okay. Sometimes when there's gaps in those bubbles, it's a pain. Off we go for phase 2 here. And you see 2 shots and he's gone. So from a damage perspective, this is super easy. My build has crazy amounts of single target damage, as you can see. And of course I don't get any useful drops, but that was clear. So as you can see from a damage perspective, even a tier 2 pinnacle boss is not a problem. Maybe I quickly show you a little bit of a map. I don't know, what do we play here? Let's play that one quickly, just to show you a little bit of mapping, how that works. The build is pretty good. It's sometimes a little bit annoying with the glacial bolts if they block your way, but as you just have seen, the single target damage is really good, and from mapping, even for like general mobs, it's actually pretty good. So you just aim at them, and with the herald and with the glacial bolt, they vanish. Even the little bosses here, no problem. As you can see, sometimes they stay like this, so you have to try and walk around them. That's a bit of a pain sometimes, but in general, this gives you quite reasonable chains and overall good damage. So yeah, nothing stays around for very long. I don't know if there are any useful boss here. The rituals are trivial, just keep shooting the glacial bolt, so really nothing there. Let's see, I mean, here is another boss. You just give it a shot and he's gone. I mean, there's really nothing that happens. These monsters have not even close to enough HP to do anything for the amount of damage that we have on this build. I mean, these sometimes are a bit annoying if stuff doesn't explode. You have to try a few times. Some of these little flying mobs can be a bit annoying, but as you can see, even those, they just die eventually. I mean, yeah. But I mean, this is just a T15 map, so this is not in any way difficult content. Just a little bit to show how you deal with a kind of annoying map with all these little flying little things, whatever they are. And you see here, sometimes your wall actually blocks where you want to shoot. You walk around, you shoot from the other side, and you get your explosions. So the glacial bolt does have this potential, let's do the strongbox, to kind of block the path sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't explode if you somehow don't hit the mob properly for the voltaic mark, for the freezing mark, of course, to explode. Sometimes it helps to put the ballista, and the ballista will shoot. And when the ballista shoots the glacial walls, they will also explode a bit more easily. So sometimes it helps to just every now and then pop a ballista, and you see it will help. Okay, that was a very good strongbox, a bit of money, great. Anyway, let's go to town and I'll show you the build, otherwise this video is gonna get way too long. So the base idea here is the Glacial Bolt. I have it at level 25 because my weapon gives +6, so I have another level to go. We have to be really careful with that one so that the damage it does, I need to walk a step. The damage it does is always big enough to actually kill the wall, because at level 25 the wall has 16,000 life. We can reduce that with supports or with passives, but if you don't 16,000 life, you need to be able to kill it with the shot. So the projectile is shown here only has 5,200 for me, but I'll show you in my items that I actually have much more damage that isn't shown in the sheet. So the damage I have here will kill the wall immediately so that it explodes, and that's how we do our damage. For the supports, scattershot to get more walls, armament for damage, execute, you will see why. That's because of the helmet I'm using. It gives me always 50% more damage, so this one is huge, but it does not show up in the sheet. If I take it out, you see 5,200, I put it back in, 5,200. It doesn't show, but it's always active because I'm using the deepest tower helmet. To get rid of this. The deepest tower helmet, presence, enemies in your presence count as being on low life. So this is a permanent 50% buff here. Then I have cold infusion here, again more damage, and I have ice bite here. Ice bite only triggers for me when I have it here, the 35%, unfortunately. I tried putting it in the Herald, it doesn't really trigger, and I tried putting it into the cast on freeze, the ice bite, then it triggers every now and then, but not consistently. So unfortunately I had to put ice bite here, otherwise I just have another damage support here. Then the artillery ballista, I just go through it now quickly, just for the added support to blow up the walls. Culling Strike, Martial Tempo, and Fire Infusion. Herald of Ice, very helpful, again, to just blow up the crystals and kill some mobs with Mag Effect, Reach, and Cold Mastery. Hypothermia Curse for bosses with heightened Cursed Ground and Persistence. Wind Dancer to survive a bit more with Evasion, Pin and Maim. Ghost Dance with Fast Forward and Precision, very important to get more accuracy because of the Amazon Ascendancy, right? Thunderous Leap on the second weapon just to jump over the fucking walls if they block my path. So if the wall, I shouldn't do that here, if the wall is in my way, you can actually just jump over it. That's the whole idea. So now I'm caught here and I just jump out of it. So that's why I have the leap. It helps for that. Eye of Winter to debuff the bosses. What I do here is cold exposure, deceleration, and pinpoint critical. And the main idea is on the weapon swap, I have this one here that applies critical weakness if we hit it. So the Eye of Winter is supposed to apply the critical weakness. That's why I have it. And then the cast on freeze, that's the technology that Palestron here on YouTube actually brought for this build. The gems are mostly his build anyway, I didn't much change anything, I just changed the items a bit. He has the cast on freeze with the freezing mark, and the freezing mark has a nova that explodes, and that nova can also really help to blow up the ice walls and create our damage. So just to be clear, our damage comes from the walls, so the crystals, when we blow up these ice wall crystals, they do the damage. And that's what really gives us the damage. So when we make a wall here, all of these crystals, they explode when I shoot into it again. You see the walls explode, and that creates a lot of AoE damage. So the shot itself, the projectile of our shot, is not our main damage. That's just there to blow up the walls. And then all of the walls made out from the ice crystals, that's what gives us the damage. And so the freezing mark here is really just meant to, again, blow up more crystals faster. Energy retention and impetus, kind of standard supports for cast on freeze, and then I have the overabundance here just to increase that limit a bit more. But again, so this is all Palestron here on YouTube. I have not changed, I think, any gems other than putting execute in here because I used the deepest tower. For the items, I have a crossbow with a lot of physical, a lot of accuracy, and here the 6 projectile skills. I would of course like to have critical hit chance here as well, but you know, I don't have unlimited money, so that's what I have. This can still be improved. The accuracy here is better than the physical damage because of the Amazon Ascendancy. My path of building clearly shows that accuracy is the way to go. Then the deepest tower, really the main difference in the build. That's what gives us so much damage. The low life triggers a ton of nodes on the passive tree, and that gives us unbelievable amounts of damage. I think I nearly 2.5 times x'd my damage. So with this setup, with the deepest tower and the low life setup, I have about 2.5 times more damage than without. Then the other combination I use is actually here Leopold's Applause that penetrates elemental resistances to a minimum of -50, and then you combine that with the Pandemonius amulet, which penetrates 90% cold resistance, and this will also give you basically a 50% damage buff because you bring all the enemy resistance right down to -50. And that's also a huge damage boost. So these two, the gloves and the amulet together, is one damage boost, and then the deepest tower is the second damage boost. Apart from that, I need a body armor with 60 spirit and just a shit ton of resistances and energy shield if possible. The 60 spirit are needed to run all of this. You need 30 for you need for the Herald, right? You need 30 for the Wind Dancer, you need 30 for Ghost Dance, then you need the 60 for Cast on Freeze, and you do need an extra 10 for Precision here. So this is why 30, 30, 30 plus 60 is 150, plus the 10 for Precision for more accuracy. So you need to have the 160, so you do need a full 60 on the chest if you use the Pandemonius amulet that doesn't have any spirit on it, unfortunately. The ring is just accuracy, damage, and some stats. The problem is also that you need quite high stats requirements. I do need the full 108 strength, I need about 130 something dexterity, and I need actually over 150 intelligence. I think to support the cast on freeze, 151 intelligence, for example. The Iron Winter, 119, that's okay. The Wind Dancer here is 133 dex, right? So, and I think my weapon here, no, that's just 95 strength. So what's the strength? Forgot what it was. Oh, I think actually Glacial Bolt here, 104 strength, yeah. So you do need a lot of stats, so I had to squeeze in some stats here, and resistances again, and a bit of accuracy, that always helps. The belt is pure resistances, a bit of life that I could squeeze in, but the main point here was really just to get the resistances. You see I am capped on the resistances other than chaos, unfortunately, so that's really helpful. My evasion is low, so that I'm not so happy about. With Wind Dancer up only 58%, but I had to give up something. But I am quite happy with 1600 life and 2000 energy shield. That is pretty tanky. I feel pretty safe with that. But I really needed the resistances on the belt. And then finally the boots, movement speed, and again the resistances, and I really wanted to have the double socket here, so the corruption for 2 sockets, because I want to have increased presence area of effect, right? Because the deepest tower reduces presence area of effect by 40%, and if I press Alt here and go on, you see now I've taken so many nodes to increase the radius that my presence is very big on my screen, right? You see the green circle, that's where it counts, all the damage that we do. And so the increased presence area of effect is actually really good. If I just take off my boots and do the same, you already see the circle is much smaller. So you see now it kind of hits here the edge of the portal if I go on it. If I put my boots back on, you see how much further it actually increases over the edge of the portal there. So that is huge. And I've also taken some passives that help with the area for the presence, just because I want to mitigate the reduced area. I also have a corrupted deepest tower that has only 40% reduced presence area of effect instead of the standard 50. So that's a really nice corruption to have, because again, the radius is just quality of life, because when you shoot out, wherever you shoot, it should still be in your radius, right? Then for passives, the ascendancies are easy. We're taking, of course, the crit node here. That's the best node for the ascendancy overall, in my opinion. We're taking penetrate for the accuracy, giving us physical damage, because my crossbow has a lot of accuracy. We're taking Predatory Instinct just for more damage. I didn't know what else to take here. And the Stalking Panther for the additional evasion. It's kind of helpful. I still have not enough evasion right now in this build, so I take what I can get. Otherwise, from a passive perspective, I really tried to clean this up a bit. What I changed from the standard is I took a few more energy shield nodes down here just because I needed some more defenses. We're taking crit, we're taking even more crit, and then in my build, I haven't seen that somewhere else, I'm taking all the energy, shield, and evasion up here, because again, I just needed more defense. I was running low on defense. So I actually passed up here and took all these energy shield nodes. I do have the From Nothing here around Unwavering Stance. I'll show you that in a second. I'm taking more energy shield here. I'm taking more crit here. And taking here the presence area of effect to again get me a bit larger circle for my presence. I'm taking accuracy node and attack speed here from accuracy. I'm taking the herald damage, of course. I'm taking even more crit, more evasion, and here I'm taking it against the darkness for extra cold damage. That's just extra damage. It's just better than the other jewels I had. I don't do anything with this. I just take it for the extra damage. So this can of course be improved this slot. I mean, this jewel could probably give me more, but I just don't have anything better. I also do have this jewel here that gives me 2 maximum mana on kill. So the mana on kill is really important. Without it, you run out of mana quite quickly. And then the special part of this is we're taking this whole cluster here because all of this is damage against low life. Low life, damage lucky against low life, more damage against low life, more damage, 60% damage against low life, another 30, another 30. So this is just a shit ton of additive damage for enemies on low life. And that, of course, is why the Deepest Tower is so strong. And then from the Nothing Diamond here around Unwavering Stance, we grab another 120% damage against low life, and another 30, and another 30. I mean, this is, again, a huge damage boost just with the Deepest Tower technology. I think that's about it. This works pretty well. It's not as smooth as it was in 0.1, right, with the Herald chaining builds or anything like that, but it plays quite well, and I have to say the bossing part of it is super easy. The bosses are frozen and they die, as you've seen in the video, in no time. So bossing is actually the safest part of this build. Killing them is really not a big deal at all. Let me know if you enjoyed and if you have any questions. I'll also post the POB in the comments, and thanks for watching.